Hey there, my fellow anglers and outdoor enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for the hottest fishing insights. Today, we're diving deep into the bite forecast for Sunday, December 7th, 2025, across our magnificent Canadian waters. Get ready, because this day is shaping up to be a classic Canadian winter fishing adventure with some surprisingly good opportunities if you know where to look and what to use. I promise you'll walk away with actionable tips that will make your next cold weather outing a success. Now let's talk tactics for a few of our winter warriors. First up, the mighty Lake Trout. These deep water giants are perfectly adapted to the cold, and December 7th will be no exception. Look for them in the deeper lake basins around significant drop-offs and near underwater structures. They'll be cruising these areas looking for a substantial meal. My advice? Heavy jigging spoons or large tube jigs fished right on or near the bottom are your best friends. Work your lure aggressively, then pause, mimicking a wounded baitfish. That pause, friends, can often trigger a strike from a cautious laker. A good fish finder is your best friend here, helping you pinpoint those deep pockets where the lakers are lurking. Next, let's consider the toothy northern pike. December is prime time for pike, especially as ice fishing starts to really kick into gear across many Canadian lakes. Pike are known to be opportunistic predators year-round, but in these colder waters, they're looking for energy-rich meals. You'll find them lurking near the edges of weed beds, submerged timber, or rocky points, often in shallow to medium depths where baitfish might be seeking shelter. Also target transition areas, especially near drop-offs where deeper water meets shallower flats, or around submerged weed beds that still hold some green life. For tackle, tip-ups with large dead bait like smelt or herring are deadly effective. If you're using a rod, go for large spoons or aggressive jerkbaits. Don't be shy with your lure size. They're looking for a substantial meal. Remember, pike are ambush predators, so presentation needs to be enticing but not overly fast. A slow, deliberate retrieve or a motionless bait under a tip-up often does the trick. Think big bait, big fish, my friends. And for those who love consistent action and a delicious meal, the yellow perch are calling. These schooling fish are often quite active in early winter. Where to find them? Think shallow to medium depths, especially near the edges of deeper breaks, subtle humps, or sandy flats that transition into weeds. They also often feed in deeper basins with muddy bottoms during the colder months. Once you find a school, you're often in for a treat. Light action rods with small jigs tipped with a maggot, a waxworm, or a small minnow are absolutely perfect. Drop your bait down, give it a few subtle jiggles, and be ready for those characteristic, gentle taps. For our friends on the west coast, especially in British Columbia, steelhead trout are beginning their early winter runs. This is a challenging but incredibly rewarding fishery. Focus on coastal rivers where these migratory fish will be making their way upstream. Look for them in deeper pools and slower runs, because as the water temperature drops, they won't waste energy sitting in fast currents. Use egg and flesh patterns mimicking the remnants of the fall salmon runs. Remember, river conditions are key, so check local reports before heading out. All right, my friends, let's break down the conditions and understand why our finned buddies will be behaving the way they do on this particular Sunday, December 7th, 2025. First, the weather mob is keyed. For December 7th, 2025, across much of Canada, we're looking at frigid temperatures. Expect air temperatures to hover around -3 to -4 degrees Celsius. That's 26 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, down to nighttime lows of -14 to -16 degrees Celsius or 17 to 19 degrees Fahrenheit in many regions. We can expect cloudy skies during the day with a 60% chance of flurries clearing to periods of snow overnight. The wind will be a factor with northwest winds around 30 kilometers per hour, gusting to 50, becoming light later. This cold, stable, but breezy weather pattern means fish will be conserving energy and seeking shelter. Atmospheric pressure may see slight fluctuations which can make fish a bit finicky, potentially pushing them deeper or into more sheltered areas. So, pay attention to subtle changes in their behavior. Next up, water temperature. As expected for early December in Canada, water temperatures in most freshwater bodies will be very cold, ranging from near freezing to just a few degrees above 0 Celsius. In deeper lakes like Ontario, temperatures will hover around 4 degrees Celsius or 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold water has more dissolved oxygen, which is good, but fish metabolism slows significantly, making them less inclined to chase fast-moving baits. They're conserving energy, so slower presentations and targeting known feeding lanes will be crucial. Now about the moon phase. On December 7th, 2025, the moon will be in a waning gibbous phase, with an illumination of about 89 to 95%. This is just a few days after the full moon. While full moons are often associated with active nocturnal feeding due to increased light, the days immediately following can sometimes see a slight slowdown, as fish may have gorged themselves. However, the abundant moonlight still provides visibility, potentially extending feeding windows into the early morning or late evening. Considering all these factors, the cold, stable temperatures, near-freezing water, and the significant moonlight from the waning gibbous phase, I'm going to give the overall bite assessment for Canada on December 7th as medium to good, with periods of strong activity. While it's definitely winter and ice fishing conditions are setting in, the lack of extreme cold snaps or violent storms means fish aren't under immense stress. Species like Lake Trout, northern pike, yellow perch, and coastal steelhead, which are well adapted to colder water, will be actively seeking food to sustain them. They will be less aggressive and require slower, more deliberate presentations, but they are there to be caught. So get out there, my friends, bundle up, stay safe on the ice and chase those winter trophies. May your lines be tight and your coolers be full. If you enjoyed this forecast, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And tell me in the comments, what are your favorite winter species to target? And what's your go-to cold weather bait? I love hearing your stories.